need this music to soothe my soul. Soothe my soul. That's what music does. It administers to my spirit. Alright, so I'm getting started a little bit late today. Let's see if I can get people to come on into the room. Let me pull up my notes. Alright, so let's see. Alright, as I pull up my notes. Alright, this is yours truly, Diva Laree. As we prepare to have this conversation. Because we've got to heal our nation. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this. So I'm waiting on the brother to give me a call back. Mick, I'm waiting on you. Waiting on the person who's going to join us this evening. Let's see if I can get my notes open, please. Thank you. All right, so this is Diva Laree. We're going to have this conversation this evening about whether melanated people should separate or segregate. There was a question put up on a post, and we're going to discuss that. Some of the things that came from that discussion. Once again, I'm waiting on this brother to give me a call. Nick, you can call me at any time, brother. Let's get this thing started. I am waiting on my notes to come up. Unbelievable. This has been one of those days. You know, I've been trying to get my little graphic thing set up, and I was going to make it all pretty. But anyway, I was unable to set that up, unfortunately. But we're still going to have our conversation without the pretty graphics. Maybe next time I can get that working and functioning properly. But as we wait, I'm waiting on the brother to give me a call back any day now so we can get this thing started. I'm going to put this post here. And hello, thank y'all for joining me. How you doing, Barry? So I'm going to put this up. That's my little post. Let's see, who else is joining me? Nick, you can call me back any day, brother. I had to reload my entire system because everything went backwards. That's how it works. We're going to get this thing started in a few minutes. Once again, we are talking about whether or not melanated people should segregate or separate. Let me see if I can call this brother, because he is like... Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, once again, we're waiting for the brother to put a call through. we're going to discuss tonight whether or not we should segregate. And this question is actually coming off of a topic, a conversation that went on another page. And so I felt like this would be a good thing to go over this evening as we discuss this. And let me see if I can get this brother to call me. As we get ready to go through this. All right, so I'm putting out a call for this brother to call me so we can get this thing started. All right, let's try this again. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to, maybe he can patch in later. So we'll do it like this. All right, once again, yours truly, Diva Laree. And we are... So we're going to try this again. He's saying he's calling me and we're going to voicemail. So, hey, technical difficulties, beautiful. That's the kind of beautiful day we're going to have tonight. All right, so I'm placing my call. Let's see if we can get through, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. We're still trying. All right, so let me preface this, and I'm getting started a little bit late, and I really hate that late, but c'est la vie. Here's what we're talking about. Once again, if I hadn't said it already 50 million times, we're discussing whether or not melanated people should segregate or segregate. Now, this topic comes after a conversation that I had on another page that was dealing with, someone posted this. Now, the question was, should we all, at what point do melanated people segregate? Now, for me, absolutely, I say we need to separate or segregate. Now, let's make sure, and I'm a little bit distracted because I need to go back and do my preface because I'm really trying to get through on this phone, and it's we're just having all kind of technical difficulties today for whatever reason. All right, great. All right, so let me try this again. I'm gonna try to get through. Now, before I say that, what we need to understand when I put out this information, I'm not telling you to believe me. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to believe me. What's very important for me is for people to take this information and actually go and research it for yourself. I don't, because at the end of the day, I don't want any followers. I don't want you following me. I don't want you doing this because, oh, what Diva said to do it. No, don't do it because you need to do your own research. And this is why we as a people have been misled by so many different people for so long. Because we don't do our own research. We don't do our own homework. And we don't have an understanding of what's actually going on. So we end up following people and not even understanding their Mick.
Hello?
Mick.
Yeah.
Hey, what you're gonna have to do,
Yeah.
yeah, do me a favor and call him back, and make sure you turn down your computer, please, because you're feeding back.
I can't hear you.
Turn your computer down. Turn the volume on your computer off, please. Mick, I need you to turn the volume on your computer off and make sure he has the volume on his computer off. All right? Okay. Mick. You hear this feedback? I know I said this before we came on, but Mick.
Yeah, I turn my computer down.
Okay, and his computer needs to be off too. If he can't hear me, make sure you say it to him. All right. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, is he here? John, are you there?
I'm going to call John now for you.
Okay, call him back and then let me know when you've patched in. All right, so once again, we're just waiting on them to come on the line. All right, so, what we're doing is we are talking. Let's see. I got all my little gadgets going on my computer. So, once again, we're talking about should melanated people segregate or separate. And again, with the information that we're going over this evening, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to receive the information and then go and look it up for yourself. That is most important, because Diva doesn't want a follower. I'm not your leader. I'm not even trying to be your leader. I just have information that I want to give you so that you can take it and use it to enhance your life. Now, we're talking about should we segregate. Now, as
Hello?
I said,
Yes.
all right, John,
Here?
make sure your volume is down on your computer. All right, and then I'm going to introduce you once I get finished introducing this topic. All right, so and Mick, once again, please make sure you check the board, and if you all have any questions, please post them in the board, and then John is going to get them to me once I check in with him. So I want to thank everybody for joining us, all two of you all. Thank you. My people who I sent pizza out to, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for allowing me to give to you. I sure do appreciate it. And y'all made it difficult. Y'all made it very difficult for a sister to give to you. Next time I'm just trying to give you pizza. Say yes. Hit me up. I want to give to you. And it's free. I'm not asking anything in return. So basically, again, this conversation comes from a topic that came up in a post, in a thread from another post. Now, I put that link below, so you all can check below and you can see the actual link to where that conversation took place. And then we can, that way you can see what happened. But as I said, the topic was, should melanated people, and actually they said, should black people separate or segregate? And for me, the answer is absolutely yes. We should separate, and there are reasons why. Now, before I go into that, let me explain what it means to separate. That does not mean that you can't hang out with white people, Caucasians. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that you can't do business with them. What it means is that we are supporting our own schools. It means we're supporting our own neighborhoods. It means we're supporting the families within our neighborhoods. It means we're focused on making sure that we have for ourselves. That doesn't mean treating anybody with disrespect or malintent at all. And we're going to go over exactly why we would never want to do that. It doesn't mean not shopping in their neighborhoods. And it doesn't even mean that they can't shop in your neighborhoods. But what we're talking about is making sure that we support our own, that we separate. That means, yeah, you're going to have to come up out of their jobs and start creating jobs in your own community. That means we're going to need to start supporting our own businesses. All right, that means that yes, when we start talking about hospitals and things like that, we are building those for ourselves. And there are reasons why we have to start doing this. We're not paying attention to what's going on in this society. It's like we keep wanting to be the victim, but we really have all the power. So when I say we need to separate, I'm saying we need to take back our power. Now, on that thread, there was this person who said he was of, let me make sure I got it. He says he is of Italian heritage. And so he says to me, why shouldn't we separate? And what ended up happening in that conversation, you can see it for yourself when you go back. But we were talking, if you will, and he started to, express to me what he felt. So what I'm going to do is let him have a little bit of time in my session, because this is my session, and I'm going to let him speak to you about why we should not separate, or why he thinks we should not separate. And then we're going to go over all of those topics in more detail that was in that thread that we didn't get to go over because it got a little bit ridiculous. But since he felt that he wanted to speak, I felt that I would bring him to this forum and let my melanated family listen to what his ideas are, and then he's going to help me to help you understand exactly why we need to be segregated. John. Hello, John. Say hello to the people. Hello, John. Mick.
Yeah, okay, I'm still trying to get it out. Okay, for the introduction.
Hold on. John, hold on for 1 second.
And we were discussing whether they're to be segregated.
John.
Better to unite.
John.
And my position is that
John.
One of us chose.
All right. Mick, I need you to talk to John right now and tell John that he's breaking up and we can't hear him, and that he needs to listen to me and not the phone and not the video on the computer, okay? Mick.
What was that, either?
Okay, John. John.
Yeah.
John. All right, so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I need you to listen to me on the phone and not to the video, okay?
You on the phone and what else?
And not on the video because you're breaking up. I need you to turn whatever video you have or audio coming from the computer down.
Okay, computers. I turned the audio and stuff off the computer, so this is just solely my phone.
Okay, so now you were breaking up. Now, from the beginning, when I said that we should be separated, what was your comment to that?
Right. So, we are all born without choice over what we roll into this world.
All right. Hold on for a second, John.
Now, if you choose.
All right. Technical difficulties, great. All right, so let's try this again. Mick, do me a favor. Tell John he can't be heard. Tell him to hold on for 1 second. I'm not sure what's going on and why we're having this kind of technical difficulty coming from the phone, but tell him to hold on, and we're going to try to get him back on. But let me finish up here, because one of the things that happened is on this conversation is that John says to me, he said, why is it impossible to rise with races aligned? Why can't we start reading and learning about all races and cultures? I'm Italian. I don't hang out with my race, is what he said. Now, here's the thing that we have to understand, and that is that, and also, please let me know in the comments. Am I breaking up? Barry, are you out there? Can you hear me okay? because we're getting a really, I don't know why the system is just really bad tonight. Can you hear me okay, Barry? Anybody? Somebody? Let me know if you're hearing me or if we're breaking up. If the video is coming through clear. Can anyone hear me? It shouldn't be that hard. I don't know. Tonight is a more difficult night for some reason. And I'm not seeing anybody. Hello, anybody? I know it says that there's 7 people out here, but I can't, nobody's saying anything. No. All right, so I'm going to try this again. All right.
Do a Facebook Live, maybe we can hear each other clearer that way.
No, okay. Now, start from the beginning, and please do me a favor, make it clear. In my response to you, it wasn't even a response to you. My response to the page was that we should definitely segregate or separate so that we can focus on building our own communities. And please, make it quick.
Right.
What was your comment?
So, and I'm not looking at the thread. My basic thing, we use our race, and so we do choose our choices. So evaluating each other on choices is wiser than evaluating each other on color.
Okay. So right there, you said, why do we evaluate each other on color? Now, let's understand this, because this was another thing that John said that we as a people need to understand. John says to me that color doesn't matter. Now, let's understand this. I speak to you all the time about the universe and the language that it speaks. When we see any and everything in this universe has a rhyme and a reason. Nothing is happenstance. If you are melanated, you are melanated for a reason. If you lack melanin, you lack melanin for a reason. If you're a male for a reason, and a woman for a reason. All of that has a signature. It is a language that the universe speaks. So he says to me, color does not matter. Let's make this clear. Color absolutely matters. And let's understand why, because it is a vibration. Every color is a vibration. Every design, every picture, every image, all wood, metal, glass has its own separate vibration. Everything is on a vibration. Now, I'm not going to go deep into vibrations, but when you see someone's color, you say it doesn't matter, but let's understand why it does, because the makeup that you're seeing now is an indication of what happened in the past. In the ether, what we know as the ether, that's things that on a spiritual level. All right, so when you have melanin or carbon, because we're really carbonated people, but I won't even go into the difference between melanin and carbonin. But we're carbonated people. And this carbon means that we are vibrating at a higher level. These vessels that we're in are putting out a larger level of energy. That is just fact. That's scientific fact. And there is a difference between us as a people. Now, they come from us. But now, John, when you come on and you speak about that there is no difference, that tells me that you don't understand who you are and who we are as a people, and there is a difference. So are you still under the impression that there is no difference?
Yeah, well, the only difference that I really recognize is the character difference and the difference.
Okay, hold on. Say that again. Say that again, John. You said the only difference that you recognize is what again?
Is character and our thought choices.
Okay, good. Now let me touch on that. John says that the difference is the character and the thought choices. Now, What character and thought choices deal with are our present and future. What the makeup is, that dealt with what happened in the past. What our thoughts are, that deals with what's going to happen in the future. So when you're having, and I'm glad you brought this up, John, because that's another point that I make. Just because I'm saying to separate or segregate, it does not mean to treat any being on this planet with malice. Because one of the things that I talk about with you all is universal law. Now, one of the things we know about universal law is whatever energy you put out must come back. It must come back. It's going to return to you, and if you put that type of energy out, that's what's going to happen. So now, John, when you bring that up about character and this and that, what that brings up is the fact that why we as melanated people go through the things that we go through today, and we don't understand history and what happened in history, because we're going to go over that too, because I did mention the fact that we're not aware of what happened in history, and we think we have so much knowledge, but everything that we have been taught, John, has been a lie about what happened in history. And when I mentioned something, you said, oh, ha, 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 and don't tell me the president was black. So let me ask you a question, John. Who wrote the Constitution?
I'm sorry, what was your question, Stephen?
Who wrote the Constitution?
The connection wasn't clear. I didn't make it out. Can you repeat that?
Who wrote the Constitution according to your knowledge of history?
Okay, so the Constitution was written by men who were 100% Christians, who had a minority among them who inherited slavery and believed in it, but the majority who opposed it, but simply did not have the power to overturn slavery.
Were these people Caucasian or melanated? That's what I want to know. Let's get to the bottom line. Were they Caucasian or melanated?
The people who wrote the Constitution all happened to be Caucasian.
So you think the Constitution was written by Caucasians?
Yeah, I have no evidence of evidence opposing that.
Okay, so then what I want you to do is listen up, John, because once again, we have been lied to about history. So I need you to pay close attention. And again, John, the things that I say are not for you to believe me, but what I need you to do is go and do your own research. Let's first understand what the term slave means. All right, the term slave comes from the term Slavic or Slovakian. Okay, so those were non-melanated people. The original term slave was applied to Caucasians, not melanated people. All right, let's make sure we get that straight from the back. So the original slaves coming into the Americas were Caucasians. They were your Irish people, your Indo-Europeans. Those were your original slaves. And you can go and look this up for yourself. And let's understand this, because at the time, the Queen of England was melanated. At that time, all of your royalty was melanated. As a matter of fact, any royalty, I don't care if you're talking about Scotland, I don't care if you're talking about England or anybody else. All original royalty was melanated people. And let's understand this. The Constitution was written by the Native Americans. Now, let's make sure we understand this, John, because the Native Americans were not these mixed breed, stringy-haired, half white-looking people, half Caucasian-looking people. That's not who they were. The original Native Americans were dark brown people like myself. As a matter of fact, let's understand what the term America means, because America don't mean Caucasians. As a matter of fact, when you go back and look it up far enough in the 1800s and find those dictionaries before they actually got to changing the words around, America is Ameri is a Hebrew term. It means copper colored. It means copper colored. That means brown, John. And so Ika, I-C-A or I-K-A.
Hold on. America is named Amerigo Vespucci. That's what America's name.
America dispute. Hold on. All right, stop right there. I heard what you said. Stop right there. I heard what you said. America's Vespucci.
I'm sorry?
Stop right there. I heard what you said. America Vespucci was a character who named himself after America. America, Ameri, is a Hebrew term. It means copper color. And as a matter of fact, John, what I want you to do, and as a matter of fact, you should be taking notes. Everybody watching, you should be taking notes. John, when you get off the phone, why don't you go and look up what Ameri means? And as a matter of fact, look up American, and you'll find out when you start going in those dictionaries that were in the 1800s, what you're going to find is that America or American was a copper-colored people. That's what it referred to. American was copper-colored people. So once again, the term Ameri is a Hebrew term. It means copper-colored. Ika means people of the indigenous people of the land. America means land of the copper-colored people. Melanated people been here since the beginning. And they have told us that we are come from Africa because what they want to do is disenfranchise us from this land where we come from. America is our land. See what you... What?
So a couple things. First of all, scalping, they had land laws.
Say it once again. John, say it once again. You broke up. Say it again.
So, America, when you look at the Indian tribe over here, you have the Sioux, the Cherokee, the Iroquois, these tribes they scalp people, they commit genocide on each other.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah.
And they have no land laws.
Good, so what I hear you say...
How can anyone say...
You're breaking up, John. Okay, John, you're breaking up. So let's understand this. What you're saying is you're talking about all of these Cherokee and Iroquois. Those were dark-colored people. All right, these people that you're seeing today, all of these different... And what I want you to do also, again, out there, and look up Washita Moors. Those were the original people in this land, and they were dark brown people. They were not... no highly high-colored, that they were dark brown people. Those are the original people of this land. So they want you to believe that the original Native Americans were some mixed breeds. But no, let me keep on going, because see, John, again, the history that you're telling is the whitewashed history. That's not the true history of what happened in this country. Again, the original slaves were Caucasians. The people who originally owned those slaves were Moors. So if you got a book that's telling you about African history, or, you know, whatever, Africantology or whatever they call that, Egyptology and all that crap, if it ain't talking about the Moors, then it's garbage. If you got a book that's telling you about American history and it ain't telling you about Noble Drew Ali, then it's garbage. If you got a book that's telling you about American history and then it's not telling you that the Native Americans are the ones who wrote the Constitution, then it's garbage. You can't talk about quote-unquote black history in North America and not mention Noble Drew Ali. So here's the deal with what we're saying. Your history that you're talking about, John, is the history that Caucasians taught you. So why should I bring you into my school and talk to my people when you're telling them false information about who we are? See, you're going to tell my people that they're African American. You're going to tell my people that they're black. But the truth is...
all come from Adam and Eve. So when the race is all mixed up, I have no idea. But what's more important...
What did you say? Hold on. Stop right there. You said when the race is mixed... What are you talking about?
When they birth.
What?
I have no idea what race, the original race, what I have no idea when they and I don't care.
Okay, wait, hold up. Okay, stop right there. What do you mean you don't care? What do you mean? See, John, you can't tell me you don't care when everything that's going on has to do with history. So if you're going to tell me, you know, all these books that you read about history, and you say, well, I don't know. Well, John, I don't.
Well,
it's not, no, that's not okay, because then the problem is, no, here's the problem, John, we don't know what our true history is. So you, see, when I start telling your people that they were the original slaves, they don't want to hear that. See, what they're going to do is they're going to try to cut in. But see, I don't, listen, if you want to tell your people whatever you want to tell them, that's fine. But see, we got proof to show who we are. All right, so when I say that melanated people originated here in the land, I got legal proof, I got governmental documentation, I got historical documentation, I got scientific evidence, I got blood evidence, I got archaeological evidence. So I'm not talking about what?
Before you were 25 years old, how many history books have you read on your own in your life?
John, I didn't read any history books. I just found out about my history.
Okay, well, that's the problem right there.
John, but all the history books you're talking about are lies. You know what? Let me help you understand something.
Okay. But see, the problem is you can't get information by just saying that this is a lie and make them lie.
John, you don't have the true information about who we are, but you want to keep coming into our schools.
It's called revisionist history. You can't go back and ignore all the books that were written at that time and say they're true.
John, yes I can. Yes I can. You want to know why? So listen to this. So understand what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you why I can say all those history books are bullshit. I'm going to tell you why. Because first of all, here's the deal. What you have to understand is, you quick to say, oh, the television is lying to us. And you'll say, oh, the media lies to us. You'll say the schools lie to us. You'll say the government lies to us. But then you want to put me in front of a book. And you're not even understanding who wrote that book.
Okay, so
Hold on, John. John, you gonna hold on? I'm gonna cut you off. You're gonna hold on, I'm gonna cut you off. So you're gonna hold on, I'm gonna cut you off. So when we look at these books, you've got to understand who wrote those books. When we even get into understanding the fact that all major publishing companies in the United States or in North America, they're owned by those same people who you say lied to us. They're owned by the media. They're owned by all these other companies that keep lying to us. All of these books that goes into schools are printed by those publishing companies that are owned by these major companies that keep us enslaved with ignorance. Because if you understand what an accredited school is, let's understand what an accredited school means. What these people have done is that if you don't use the books that come through their publishing company, then you are not going to get accreditation for your school. That's what accredited means. It means that if your book, if you got the truth in your book, you're not going to be able to use it in your school because we're not going to give you accreditation. So that's why when you start talking about your books, my question becomes, who actually printed those books, John? Because if they were printed by a major publishing company, you can bet it's got a whole bunch of lies in it. That's a bet.
Right, but what we can do, we can go back and we can learn. I can go get a book that's written by Julius Caesar, and I can read that. In 2000, I'm subject to propaganda. But you wrote, you were fighting battles, I have no doubt about it. And there's more. I mean, we have Thucydides, we have Plutarch, we have Cato, we have Cicero. We have documentation to pass. And the problem today is so few people have actually taken the in their childhood due to dysfunctional families who do not raise their kids with moral values.
Hold on right there. We can stop right there. You're saying to me that because people have not read all of these books once again that were printed by, these companies that are only going to print books that don't tell the full truth. Because you're saying that they're ignorant and these people don't raise their families right and blah, blah, blah. Again, this is why I talk about us being on our own and separated, because see, it's not for you to come into our community and be talking shit about what our people are doing. I hear you, but at this point, we've got to.
That's your business. I don't know what you like. It's not going to change. I mean, you could find it.
What's not going to change, John? What's not going to change, John?
I mean, the truth is objective truth is no matter what your opinion is, my opinion is, or anyone else's opinion. There could be 7 billion humans on Earth that believe one thing, and one person believes and that one person is objective truth does not care about popularity. It does not care about skin color. All cares about
what's the truth though? What's the truth? What truth are you talking about?
And when we think about history, we have to go back. If we would prefer someone who was right and it has been writing something about it. Are wrong?
Okay, you said when it comes to history, what? You broke up.
When it comes to history, you probably want somebody at the time that it happened, and probably about 10, 100 people at that time writing versions. And when you were all of them,
okay,
so a better way to
so what I hear you saying is,
I don't know what it is.
What I hear you saying is, if we're gonna talk about history, we want to have somebody who goes back, who was there. Is that what you're saying?
We want to have people from Africa who are there who wrote about it. That's how I want to learn my history.
Let me say this, John. John, you know what, John, you giving me all right, that's enough. John, you giving me a cop-out because see what you're saying to me is, oh, I want somebody who was there. We do history and research. We can find out what actually happened, John. Because I can tell you right now why melanated people suffer the way they do. Because I do research. I mean, we can, John, we can do research right now. And you need to hold on for a second because we can do research right now and understand that all of the books that have been printed, they're lies. We can do proof right now. You just sat here and told me that Caucasians are the forefathers. When the truth is, all you got to do is do some research, and you full well know that the original slaves were Caucasian. And that the original writers of the Constitution were Native Americans, and they were brown-skinned people. Everybody can go and do research and look up Washita Moors. But see, they're not trying to print that in those books coming out, those major printing presses, because then we have too much of the truth. And they're not trying to give the truth. So let me continue on. As I was saying, all right, as I was talking about, the original slaves were Caucasians. And then after that, what ended up happening was that so the original slaves were Caucasians. And then after that, the Native Americans are the ones who wrote the Constitution. They were brown-skinned people, not those Native Americans they show you in the media as mixed, stringy-haired and mixed-breed people. That's not how that happened. The Moors came in here, they brought over slaves, and they were children that they were bringing over, and they enslaved them. Now, let's understand once again, when we start talking about universal law, those were Moors and melanated people doing all of that. And what Moors are we talking about? We're talking about Moroccan Moors, we're talking about brutish Moors, and then the Native Americans allowed that stuff to happen. Allowed them to come in here, bringing in slaves, bringing in bad energy. And understand, we as souls, we don't die. Carbonated people, we don't die. And so when you put out something negative in the past, oh, it's coming back. So you can go ahead and guarantee that. And so we have put out energy and negative energy on these non-melanated people. And then what happens is, oh, just because we didn't get that energy to come down on us at the time of that vessel, the life of that vessel, well, once that vessel perishes or expires, your spirit's going to find another vessel. Your spirit is going to create another vessel. And whatever energy you put out at that time, it is going to come back down on you. That's guaranteed. And so we're not understanding. We want to think we're the victims. There are no victims in this deal. We're not victims to the Caucasian. We're not victims to the Jews. We put out energy. And everything that is coming on us is energy. See, that's what we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear that we're victims, that we're not victims, rather. We want to act like we're victims and blame it. It's the white people. And I understand that. I was there. But now that I understand universal law, I full well know, and I understand history. I full well know that we are the ones responsible for this energy that's coming down on us. Now, when we talk about segregating, the deal is, he wants to say we're all the same race. No, we're not. No, we're not. Does that mean that you should treat them with malintent? No, that's why your ass is in this situation now, because we treated them like garbage, and that's not what we're supposed to do as gods. They are humans, you're God. And you got to understand that. We keep wanting to try to fit in and be like them. We're doing things that are unnatural to our spirits and our bodies as gods. And that's why we're in this situation. So let's understand this, because why I'm going to run this list down to some of the things that you all are seeing. You're not paying attention to it. And I'm gonna finish going through this because he wants to believe that Caucasians came in here and they owned everything, and I'm gonna go back to that. But let's understand this. As melanated people, just as you've seen with this person who's on the line saying that, giving us a history that is incorrect and backwards. This is why we need our own schools, so that we make sure our people get true history. And you can go and research this stuff yourself. He didn't research anything. All he did was he read some books that told him, yep, Caucasians did it. But we're not understanding that they have lied about everything in the past. As a matter of fact, in the mid-1800s is when there was the Reconstruction era. That's when they burned all of the books. That's when they... this is when the fake United States, which I'm sure he doesn't know about, because it doesn't matter what damn book you read that's coming out of their printing press, they're not going to tell you the truth about the United States government and the difference between the United States of America government and the United States Corporation. They're not going to tell you that. But the mid-1800s, that's when that took place. The mid-1800s, that's when Lincoln was assassinated. The mid-1800s, that's when the civil wars were going on. There was a big change going on in the mid-1800s. And when we go back and start doing our research, we can start seeing where all the lies took place and all the switching of our positions took place. Because yes, melanated people were running the country. The Moors were running the country up until the mid-1800s. That's when all of those lynchings took place. So let me ask this before we go through this list. We want to think that those lynchings were some slaves. Well, that doesn't make sense, because you got to remember, they told us when they were bringing people over here from Africa, which we ain't from Africa, but what they told us when they were bringing people over from Africa, a lot of them were dying. So that meant by the time they got them 10% of 50, let's say it was 50%, they had to be valuable as hell. So they were selling all them slaves by the time they were bringing them over here. So then at that time, maybe the 1700s or whatever, but you mean to tell me some kind of way by the mid-1800s, you got this whole bunch of slaves that don't belong to anybody? Because now if the slave belonged to me, this melanated person belonged to me, and he was my slave, he is my commodity. You're not getting ready to hang him massively for what? That's my money. And so also at that time, they tell us that you could pick a nick right up off the damn street and make him a slave. Well, if that's the case, if I could pick a nick, then what the hell I'm going to hang all these nicks that could come work for me? That's like burning a horse, burning your car, or shooting your horse. Why would you do that? They are valuable commodities. It doesn't make sense, does it? No, it doesn't make sense, because it's a lie. What they were hanging were Moors. Moors were running the whole government. These were your politicians, your lawyers, your judges. These were your businessmen, your goldsmiths. These were people who owned plantation land. And they were told that if you don't give up your possessions, you will be killed. Well, they didn't give up their possessions, and these are the ones that they were hanging. This is where all those massive hangings took place in the mid-1800s. Those were Moors. They were running the country. They were not slaves. But you're not going to find that in his history book, and he sure as hell ain't going to tell you. So you want to understand why we need our own schools? Why we need to separate and segregate? Well, I ain't even got to the good stuff yet. Let's understand this about hospitals. We should be putting up our own hospitals. Why? How many misdiagnoses go to our people, melanated people, because they trying to diagnose us based on a Caucasian? Huh? If I am low in whatever it is, it could be vitamin C, it could be iron. They're going to base me on this Caucasian woman's low iron or whatever. But guess what? By the time she get low, I'm already doomed over here. If I'm going by her measurements, because I am, as a melanated being, I need more. Again, you can't base me based on this, and this is what they base us on, a Caucasian person's physical being. How can I'm a carbonated person, and see, this is why they keep telling us, oh, there's no difference, we're all one, okay, that's beautiful, but it's bullshit, because we're not all the same, and our physical makeup is totally different, and we should have a hospital that knows this, knows who they know, they just don't give a damn about making sure we're treated properly. Not only that, these people over here, they're going to tell them, oh yeah, you need some vitamin D, drink some milk, eat some cheese. Well, melanated people are highly lactose intolerant, because that stuff is not supposed to be going in our system. Why do we need our own hospitals? Because we need to make sure that we have our own people, our own doctors that are making sure that the things that we're doing are right by our spirits and our vessels and the carbon that rides within our system. That needs to be understood. And they're not doing it at their hospitals currently. All right, grocery stores. I mean, y'all know what kind of grocery stores we got in the hood. Do I even have to say that? And we should have our own security. All right, so what I'm saying is all of it. Our security should be for us, with our people, and they ain't carrying no damn guns. They ain't about trying to hurt our people. We taking care of our own situations. You're not running and throwing that man up under the bus because you pissed at him because he ain't paid child support. Well, as a family, we're supposed to be taking care of that. And you shouldn't have been. We're not even going to go into what his purpose was in the first place. Anyway, we're not going to go into that. But we are going to start loving each other. That's where we're going. And then segregation does not mean that we hate anybody else. That is not what it means. So that's the problem that we're not getting and we're not understanding. Mick, are you still there? Mick, are you still there?
I'm still here.
All right, John, are you still there? Hello?
I'm sorry?
Who is this, John or Mick?
Hello?
Yeah, is this John?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, so now let's understand this. Again, as I said, when we talk about this, and we have our when we're talking about segregation, we're talking about making sure we're building things that take care of us as a people and our needs as a people, because, John, we are not the same people. And we have been, as a matter of fact, from a molecular, let's get down to this molecular thing, because what you're not understanding, John, is we fight on a molecular level. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, John, but like, for example, when a Caucasian woman gets pregnant by a melanated person, that Caucasian woman's body tries to abort the fetus. Are you familiar with that, John? Hello?
You said what about a Caucasian?
When a Caucasian woman gets impregnated by a melanated male, her body tries to abort the fetus. Are you familiar with that?
It tries to.
Her body tries to abort the fetus. Are you aware of that?
I was completely unfamiliar with it. And the vast majority of mixed children, I think, give evidence and there's nothing that anybody has against anybody else. They used to think that we couldn't blood transfusions because they figured that was a lie.
So, John, let's back up. Don't ramble on. Don't ramble on. Let's back up. Don't ramble on. Are you telling me you're not familiar with this?
Oh, I'm not.
Okay, so okay, good. Then I need you to listen, John. Then I need you to listen, John, because I'm not telling you this for you to believe it. I'm telling you so that you can go and do your research and understand it. So
it's totally false. I mean, it's
John. So you're not familiar with what I'm saying, right? Then I need you to listen. Don't see. This is why I don't want you in on my session, because I want you to listen. This is why we should be segregated. So then listen. So then listen. And then you get, John, you listen and then you go and do your own research. You got it? Do you have it?
Well, you have
John.
Trying to create your own history.
John, do you want to go and do your own research after I finish? Because you just admitted that you don't know any of this. So you need to listen, and then you can go do your own research.
You don't know it.
What?
You have history where.
John, if either you know this information or you don't. See my family, this is why. John, do you want to listen or you want to be cut off?
I mean, you can cut me off.
John, I said, do you want to listen or you don't have to tell me that I know I can cut you off. That's what I'm about to do unless you want to listen.
This is not going to be a slave idea. You may be a
John, go ahead and cut John off, because we're going to cut it off right here so I can finish giving my people what they need to hear. John, goodbye. Goodbye, John. So, as I was saying, when you do your own research, and you can go and see this for yourself. So let's understand what happens when when a Caucasian woman's body gets the male's blood in her, the melanated male's blood in her. Her body tries to abort that fetus. That is her molecular structure saying, this don't belong in me. So we fight at a molecular level, and this is fact. This is where you get that RH factor from. Negative RH plus RH. Well, what they have to do is they have to give her a shot to keep her body from aborting that fetus. Anybody who's done any kind of research can see this for themselves. All right, so you go do again, I'm not telling you this for you to believe me, and I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to make up my own history, as John says. See, John thinks he reads a lot. Okay, John don't know shit. Most of us don't know shit because we don't read on our own. But the bottom line is, as I said, we fight on a molecular level. And that is indication to you right there, the fact that her body tries to abort that fetus. And the only way that it doesn't abort it is because she gets a shot. Now, coming from that shot, there are enzymes, if you will, that are created, that they call RH. And they're created because what it is that they have to help her body to accept this fetus. Now let's understand this, because you got your blood types: O, A positive, B positive, A negative. Okay, let's understand what this is. There was O, and those were your original people. All right, your original dark-skinned, carbonated, melanated people. That's where your O comes from. Then you got your, your other people. But let's talk about what A is. A is your DNA that comes from primates. B is your DNA that comes from canine. You can look this up. Look it up. I'm not telling you to believe me. I'm telling you to hear this information and go and look it up. Don't believe nothing from this point. All these people that view my site, you're not supposed to believe nothing nobody says. Go look it up and see for yourself. A is primate DNA. B is canine DNA. A and B means y'all got that shit together. We can go and look and check the stats that 7 to 10% of babies that are born to Caucasian people have tails. That's not a common phenomenon with people who have carbon in them. Okay, so you automatically know, okay, that's B positive. So we can go on and we can talk about this, but again, I'm telling you that on a molecular level, we even fight. So are we supposed to be hanging out? And on top of that, again, we are not supposed to be eating things that they're eating. And you wonder why we can't get right. We're not right spiritually. We're not right physically. We're not right mentally. We still eat meat. We still drinking a tap water that we know got garbage in it. It's got lead in it. You still brushing with fluoride that we know by now causes brain damage. And you letting your children put that in their face. You eating meat. And I'm going to name you from 3 different reasons why physically our body ain't made to eat to accept meat. Number 2, all the garbage they put into those beings. 3, from a spiritual and emotional aspect. 4, those things got parasites in them. And parasites go into you, especially cows and chicken. They know they're about to die. At the time of their death, they know they're about to die. So they're emitting pheromones into their blood. When they emit them scary ass pheromones into their blood, you go and eat it. Would you think just because you cook the blood or it's dead that it doesn't affect you? No, it does. And that's why y'all stay scary all the time. You're scared of the police. You're scared of the IRS. You're scared of all of those people. Don't have nothing on you. They are beneath you right here. You are all the way up here, and you are letting them rule you because you don't know who you are. And you're never going to find that out if you keep doing those things. The toothpaste, the water, the meat, listening to their stupid media. You're never going to be able to get to your spirit if you're doing that. So, yes, we do have to separate because they're not trying to help you get to the truth. They're not trying to help you get to your spirit. You want to keep hanging out with them, that's fine, but you need to understand who they are. And so I'm going to explain this to you since we're talking about a molecular level. And again, this is not to berate anyone. And it's never to be disrespectful because that's why we're in this situation that we're in. But we created these beings. Our ancestors created these beings. And let's understand what happened with it. All right. As I spoke about, let me rephrase this. Because genetically modified and genetic cloning and all of that and manipulating the cells and all, that was going on long before some of them were created. And again, even science will tell you they've been around 5,000-6,000 years at the most. So we've got ancestors that are going in and manipulating DNA and changing things around. Well, at some point, they want to take these carbonated people or melanated people and mix them with animals. Well, the problem is that something about the carbon in our blood will not allow that mixing with other DNA. And so that's when the problem came in, where they was like, oh, well, we want to mix these beings. And you've seen these stories about people where the top part is human and the bottom part is animal, or the bottom part is human and the top part is animal. Well, that's what they were doing. And they show you movies about it. And there are a couple of movies that you have seen that have been out about them mixing, humans and animals. There's one with this woman's head on a little chihuahua. I mean, they're trying to show you. So you've got this situation where they realize, okay, we can't mix this melanin or carbon-based people with animals. So we need to take the melanin out. We need to remove the carbon. And that's what they went about doing. In certain number of generations, they were able to remove, they say it's seven generations. And they purposely suppressed that gene in melanated people to keep them from producing melanin. And so they did this over a period of time. And then this is where you come with your non-melanated people. And so now you've got a being that is unnatural. Because any being, first of all, the sun, you got it. If you're on this planet and you can't take the sun, then you are unnatural. If you on this planet and the sun make you sick or causes you cancer and causes you issues, you're not natural. And so you can see that in them as the fact that they are most likely to get skin cancer. They've got issues with sun. They can't go out and stay in it. And here I'm in a country where they got to go to sleep at 2 o'clock because it's too hot. They close everything down. It's too hot. I see you when the sun goes down. That's a being that is not natural to this planet. Again, that doesn't mean you're mistreating them or anything like that. But we're talking about the scientific fact, the molecular facts. And again, I'm not telling you to believe me. Go and look this up for yourself. We are not the same beings. And yes, there is a difference between my skin color and somebody who's lighter than me. That means I'm vibrating at a higher rate. That's what it means. And there's a lot more that goes to it, because a melanated person you don't need food as you think you do. And what you're eating is not even food. It's garbage that you're putting in your body. They give you to put in your body to change your molecular structure. So no, it's not about hanging out with them. Nobody said to treat them with malintent, and don't even have any kind of negative feelings about them. But you need to understand that again, we fight on a molecular level. So what the hell you think going to happen when it's a whole bunch of molecules over there and a whole bunch of molecules up? It's going to be a fight. And it doesn't have to be. Again, let them do what they do, and we need to do what we do to build up our community. As you had just seen, here's a person who, and I want you to take the opportunity to go and look at that thread, but he couldn't find anything to say to me when I started hitting him with the facts, and all he could do is start calling me names. Oh, you are racist, and oh, you are this, and oh, you are that, and calling me, you're not going to change my program. My program is that we need to segregate from you. And if he felt that he was entitled. I want to be around black people. I should be able to. You're not going to come in my meeting. If I say that a Caucasian not supposed to be in my meeting, then you're not going to come in. And I don't give a fuck who's police officer or FBI. I don't give a shit who's standing outside. You can stand outside. You're not going to come in here. Because this is for melanated people business. This is my family. It's like me breaking up into somebody's house and start telling them, you need to let me hear what y'all talking about in your family meeting. How about you get the fuck out and let us talk about what we need to talk about, and then when we're done, I'll come talk to you later. That's the way it should be. It's not about that I have hate. Melanated people ain't breaking up into the KKK folk talking about, hey, we want to hear what y'all talking. We know what you're talking about. It's good. Do what you do. And when we're having our meetings, it's not about dissing you or disrespecting you or being mean to you. It's about taking care of business for carbonated and melanated people, period. Mick, let me see if I still have Mick.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do I have any questions in the room?
I got a question. Let's say, were the Moors already here? Or the Native Americans still?
Okay, yeah. Well, and let me get back on the Native Americans, because yeah, the Washita Moors are the oldest known people on the planet. And the Native Americans were, once again, they were dark-skinned people. Again, I already told you what America means. Look it up in those dictionaries that was in the 1800s. And then when you see it, it's going to say copper-colored people. That's what American meant. But these Caucasians come over here and take over everything. And it's supposed to be, yeah, Caucasians wrote the Constitution. No, they didn't. They didn't make no language. And so, yeah, the Washita Moors, as a matter of fact, see, what they don't talk about is Lemuria. They don't talk about Atlantis. And that was a continent that when the flood came, that went underwater. And they know about Lemuria. But see, you have to dig deep. You have to do research. You can't be reading books that's published by their publishing company and think you're going to get some real information. You're not. They're not trying to educate you. So yeah, the Native Americans were originally here. They look like you and me. And we, if you, as a matter of fact, unless you step right off the boat coming over here to the Americas, from Africa, you are likely a Native American. And so they want to give you the term black. You are not black. Let's understand what black means. Black and white are legal statuses. Black was originally applied to Caucasians, and it meant someone who is not native to the land, and hence is illegal to the government. That's what the term black meant. White meant ruler, ruler of the land. It meant purity. Why purity? Because it meant purity of blood. You are not mixed with troglodyte, whatever they call it, primate. You're not mixed with canine. You are pure of blood. That's what it meant. That's what white meant. White was originally applied to the natives and melanated people, your Moors. Those were who were white. And let's understand black also. It's only that word has been around 500 years. Black originally comes from the term Blake, B-L-A-E-K or B-L-E-A-K. And what it means is pale and without color. Black was a term that was applied to Caucasians and non-melanated people, pale and without color. That term doesn't even describe our people. And then I can even go on from a spiritual level of what the term black, because again, when I start talking about vibrations, black is one of those terms that has a negative vibration that they have applied to us. And we don't understand vibrations and that words are vibrations. And, they talk about Hebrew being the language of the angels and all. Okay. See, we're not understanding who we are and what this language does to us when we take on certain terms. African American. Africa is a continent. It's not even a nation. America is a continent. North America, South America, Central America. So whenever you're taking on the term African American, you're saying, I don't have a nation. And you've just declared yourself in the eyes of the law as an orphan. You're an orphan. That's what you're saying. I'm African American. Oh, that sucker this is an orphan. We got an orphan here. They don't know where they're from. Because you don't know that you're originally from here. So once again, unless you got off the boat coming straight from Africa, it's more than a 90% chance that you are a Native American. This is your land. North, Central, and South America is your land. All of it. And so they're not trying to tell you that in history. They don't want you to know. Why the hell would I tell you that if your silly ass is going to keep calling yourself African American? I don't want you to know this is your land, because see, what y'all not understanding, y'all know that little vote that they supposedly supposed to take every 50 years or whether black people can still vote. Listen, what you're not understanding, that is a vote. That's a treaty that they keep renewing. It's a treaty because the Native Americans gave the Moors, they were melanated Moors, the right to the land for 50 years, in 50-year intervals. Every 50 years, you got to vote on that to continue it. Well, every 50 years, if they don't sign it, or if that treaty is not renewed, then they don't have any right to be here in the land anymore. That means they got to get the hell on. The land reverts back to the original owners, the descendants of the original owners, which is melanated people. That's what it means. So there's a treaty every 50 years that they running around crazy. All they want to do is distract the hell out of you, so you don't ever know that this is your land. So you keep, I'm African American, and I'm black. You don't know who you are. And they happy with you not knowing who you are, because as long as you keep giving up title to your land, they can continue to claim it. I would never tell you either. There's no way, as a Caucasian, I would ever tell you, You know this your land, you can kick our asses off. I would never tell you that. I'd let you stay ignorant if you're not going to read. Well, I have these sessions so that I can inform you, and I don't want you to believe me once again. I want you to take the information and go look it up for yourself. Look up the heirs of Henry Turner versus the United States. The heirs, Heirs, of Henry Turner versus the United States. That's a court case that shows that the title of the Americas belongs to melanated people, North, South, and Central. Do you think that Caucasian on the line was going to tell you that? No. Do you think that they're going to tell you that in a book, in a printing press that they run? No, they're not going to tell you that. That's why we need our own schools, our own hospitals, our own stores. Do I have any other questions, Mick? Mick.
I'm here.
Do I have any other questions?
There's another question that it is far from important to separate the black and white in America than prayer.
Say what?
Someone asked a question about is it important to this separation of the black and white?
Is it more of a separation of the black and white? What? Is that the question?
No. The lady asked if it's important to teach the separation of the black and white.
Okay, is it important that there be a separation? Okay, so let's understand this. When we start talking about schools, for example, and I need to get this information to a melanated child about who they are on a molecular level, I need to be able to talk to that child about who they are. Now let's understand this. Our ancestors are the ones who invented these girls and boys schools that they do all the time now. They invented that for a reason. That don't come from Caucasians. That come from our ancestors. Girls went to school over here. Boys went to school over here. And they went to school in different places for a reason. I can't sit her next to him and start explaining about the Y chromosome and not, because it's got to be a different message for him. The same way when I'm talking to brothers about the Y, or talking to my sisters about the Y chromosome, and the brothers get pissed off, I have to deliver the message differently, even though I deliver it to them at the same time, which I should be able to deliver it to my sisters alone, but that ain't happening right now. But again, there are different messages. So when I speak to her, I need to speak to her in this way. All right, sister, what you got to understand is the X chromosome is this, and the Y chromosome is this. And then when I said to him, I got, all right, brother. Now, you need to understand. You understand? So I got to speak to them differently. And the same thing with a non-melanated person, a Caucasian. I do not need to be sitting here talking to this melanated child while this Caucasian child is sitting over here feeling some kind of way about what I'm telling them. So the message has to be different. Just like this Caucasian guy, he wanted to get upset because I said a bad word or whatever. All right, you said a bad word. Well, that's how I talk. And if you think that's bad, then you really don't want to be up in a real live meeting when I'm talking to my people, because I might say all kind of stuff that's going to offend you and your little Christian ears or whatever. Well, guess what? It wasn't for your ass to be there in the first place. The meeting was for my people. When I speak to my people, I'm going to speak to my people in our language. I'm going to speak to them in our spirit. If I want to deliver a message to Jim Job, then Billy Bob, or whoever, then I'm going to change my message for them. So yes, that is why we need to be separated, because I need to deliver. And when we say this information, it is real. When I come to you about molecular levels and how we are different, I'm not trying to be offensive to my Caucasian folks. So when I say it, I need to have a different message for them. But if they want to be in on the damn meeting, you got to be there so bad, then come on in. But I'm not going to, if your feelings get hurt, that's on you. And I don't want you interrupting my damn session because your fucking ego is hurt because I'm telling you, yes, you are lower than what we are on a molecular level. That is not my fucking problem. You ain't supposed to be here. If you want me to have a meeting with you, then you set up an appointment, and I'm going to come over there, and I'm going to make sure that when I talk to you and Billy Bob and Joanne and Becky and all you, it's a different message. But if you come up in this fucking session, then I'm going to tell you how it is. And I'm not going to care about hurting your feelings. Do I have any other questions? Nick.
Hello?
Yes, do I have any other questions?
No, that's everything. No more questions.
All right. Let me make sure I went through everything because one of the things that I do need to say is that, again, we keep getting this message that this feel-good message about, oh, we're all equal and we're all the human race and it's one race, and that's bullshit. That's what it is. We're not all the same. Carbonated people are different for a reason. Carbonated people have been lied to. Do we need to segregate? Yes, because there's no fucking way they're trying to give you the true information. There's no way they're trying to take care of you the way that we need to be taken care of. There's no way that they're trying to make you be we want equality. Well, God damn it. What you need to understand is you are not equal here with them. You stand above. And that's not meaning that you need to be disrespectful to them. But at this point, we got to get up off of our knees because we are the ones with all of the power. We are the ones with all of the power. And we keep giving it away with our energies, with our hate for our own people, with our negative words. And so we have to separate from them, because here's another thing. They've told us that their standard of being is the right way. Oh, straight hair. Why we run around with perms? I just have a perm. So I'm not dissing you on that because I love my perm. But we got to get away from that. We thinking that, light skin is the best. That's, light skin. When we now know that the lighter your skin is, the less carbon you have. And the less carbon you have, well, the harder it is for your damn pineal gland to work. And those are facts. Why is the pineal gland important? Because on a spiritual level, you can't even reach it if your pineal gland is not working. So, all of this that we're talking about, there are certain things that they can't do that we as carbonated people can do. For example, that they didn't tell you. Oh, you have the ability to regenerate limbs. As a carbonated person, you can do that. You can regenerate organs. They know that. You didn't know that. So these are the things that they're not trying to tell us. And so, no, we're not equal. All this about you wanting to be equal, no, we've got to come up out of their system. That means our own government. That means our own schools and hospitals and all of that, grocery stores and even our own transportation. That means us coming up out of that and stop trying to set our standards to theirs. I get so sick of our people talking about, well, you know how the white people do it, and you know how to. We are spiritual people. We need to get back to doing business the way spiritual people do business. What does that mean? That means if my brother needs something, I'm going to make sure my brother's taken care of. Because I understand universal law, and as long as my brother is taken care of, and I show love for him, I'm going to get paid back. Nothing is free. Nothing. So when you help somebody, you already know the universe took care of you. Period. That spiritual people know that. Our people knew that. We got to get back to our spirits. You do it. Stop with the meats. Please. We got to stop it. Parasites in there. Look it up. The drinking the water, the fluoride toothpaste, cut it out. We got to turn the TV off. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you all for joining me. The people who allowed me to serve you with the pizza, I love you. I appreciate it. Mick, thank you for sitting in with me. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.